Hey, Garage Logic fans, I do a podcast on the Garage Logic Network that comes out every Wednesday and Friday now, twice a week. But here's an important caveat. There is zero logic available in my show, in the formal definition of logic. Of course, life is a yin and yang kind of thing. There's the logic side, and then there's the what the hell side, which needs to get its exercise. So come for the what the hell and stay for the you've got to be kidding me. Mishki, now Wednesdays and Fridays, twice a week.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic Podcast, number 1597, Wednesday already, August 13th, 2025. 98 degrees was the record high on this day. That was in 1880, and it was 48 degrees on two occasions, 1924 and 1997. Call Josh Arnold at 952-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
I don't want to beat a dead horse with this controversy of the prospect of getting a $25,000 fine if you hike in the woods in Nova Scotia. The staff seems a little split on the wisdom of that. And we are remiss. Steve Mulholland, who lives in the belly of the beast, reminded me we've been a little remiss. There is one person who can solve this.
Sorry, you've thrown me a curveball because I thought we were doing something else.
No, I told you right away.
I know, but we were going to promote something too, but that's okay.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
No, we're good. I got you. I
forgot about the promotion thing.
Why don't you talk about that while I get our guy set up?
At the fair, we're at the fair the 2 Fridays of the fair. And we will be podcasting from 1:15 to 2:15. That's it. And apparently those are written in stone times because we're using the KSTP television,
setup. They're building, yes.
The building.
It's right next to...
But we're going to be outside, aren't we?
It's right next door to where we have been for a million years.
Right, but we're outside.
Correct.
Big stage, bleachers.
It's where we were in 2018.
We did their first podcast state fair shows from the exact same location.
But we're not inside where people go around and spin the wheel and try to pin the tail on the donkey and that
It's kind of that same spot.
No, but it's outside. Just clarify for me. We're outside.
Yes.
Okay, Chris, thanks.
You're welcome, Joe.
Yeah.
And if you go to the website, which is, of course, garagelogic.com, you can see those times. Friday, August 22nd, Friday, August 29th, 1:15 to 2:15. And during the live shows, you can pick up your Joe on a Stick hand fan provided by our friends at Pronto Pups.
I sure as hell wouldn't want to miss that.
And merchandise will still be available.
And don't say we didn't give you anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
We might have a few of those, what do you call it, the golf ball markers, too. I think we got a few of those around.
Divot repair tool? Yeah.
Instead of taking one from our booth, I'm just going to grab one from the gutter on my way back to the bus.
Oh, jeez. So merchandise will still be available at the talk shop where it's always been.
A little bit of mustard and mud on it.
Yeah.
New shirts, right, Chris? New shirts and,
one of my favorite fair experiences was on my own, spending more than I should have, buying a big heavy box of GL stickers.
GL podcast stickers.
GL podcast stickers to give out at the fair. That
good quality, by the way,
and they were
Joe.
nicely done.
Yep.
And only to discover when we got there that they were not allowed to be distributed because the fair feared that people would plaster them places. They had a sticky back.
Which we were
I've been driving around. Well, they're done now. But for about 5 years,
Took a while.
I was peeling those out of my trunk to anybody who wanted one because I had a lot of them, And EcoFund Motorsports went through most of mine, and I no longer have any.
Scoons took a few off your hands?
Scoons took some.
I think Ingy covered his car with them.
Yeah.
put about 200 of them on his car.
But you know what it taught me? You got to check first.
See?
Before you write the check.
Especially when it's the fare.
Right. Yeah, when it comes,
Now, may I get back to the Nova Scotia situation?
Yes, sir.
We seem split on the wisdom of this. You seem to think it's another test run for authoritarian dictating. I just thought it was wise counsel, although subsequently having discovered that there is no fire in Nova Scotia. In fact, a fellow sent me a YouTube clip of a veteran, a Canadian vet, who informed the police he would be walking in the woods. He wanted the ticket because he intends to contest it in court. And sure enough, he gets the ticket, and that's all on film. And he says, thank you. And then he's going to go right to court to contest it. In any event, there's one authority in Canada who could have solved all this.
This is Frankie McDowell. My own team station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major heat waves head towards Vancouver Island on Monday, August 11, 2025. It's going to bring really, really high temperatures in Vancouver Island, including Victoria, British Columbia, Port Renfrew, British Columbia, Stoke, British Columbia, Saanich, British Columbia, Colbert, British Columbia, South Duncan, British Columbia, Ladysmith, British Columbia, Port Alberni, British Columbia, Tofino, British Columbia, Nanaimo, Parksville, Quimacon Beach, Courtney, Comox, Campbell River, Port McNeil, Port Hardy. And interior Vancouver Island temperature is going to be extremely hot for the next few days, including Vancouver Island, Central Vancouver Island. I urge everyone to wear your light colored clothes. Do not wear dark colored clothes. Have your fans and heat pumps ready and air conditioners ready to keep the house cool. Head to the beach, go swim to get cooled out for people living in Vancouver Island. Don't walk too far. Stay in the shade. Drink a lot of water for people living in Vancouver Island, including Victoria, British Columbia, and its surrounding areas.
Yes.
In Nanaimo. The temperature is going to be really hot in Vancouver Island starting on Monday, August 11, 2025. Stay cool and be safe. Don't get too hot. Stay cool, be safe.
All right. As
wise counsel.
Well, as Steve Mulholland notes, Frankie's latest is warning followers of hot temperatures on Vancouver Island, which is 2,860 air miles away on the opposite side of the country. There is no mention of any fire dangers at all on Frankie's home base on the east coast of Canada.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because we've been talking about Nova Scotia.
Well, I wanted to go to the chief.
But that's where Frankie resides, is Nova Scotia.
That's true. And there's no mention from Frankie about this warning to stay out of the woods.
It sounded like he was trying to eat and run and have a heart attack all at the same time.
Well, the best is when Frankie gives you the and his YouTube channel has 1 trillion subscribers, but when Frankie kind of gets going and he has the Royce-like gas attack, it just
doesn't bother
No,
Frankie.
he plows through.
Yeah.
He gives me anxiety the way he was talking there with the.
I understood every word he said.
Well, I did too. But
I mean, I've heard Frankie.
Well, that's a live eyewitness on the scene in Nova Scotia.
Well, that's the problem. He's giving you the real heat warnings, but he's at the other side of the world for that.
So it'll be like Dave Dahl giving a forecast for Louisiana.
Exactly.
I count on Dave.
Well, speaking of the heat, on the propaganda page today of the, are we calling it the Minnesota Star Tribune? Are we actually doing that? Yeah, whatever. Oh, we have a culture war for air conditioning in France. They got a heat wave. Well, they had a heat wave in July, and air conditioning became a political lightning rod. You're either for it or against it. If you're for it, of course, you're an evil, rotten, right-wing fool. And if you're against it, you're a lovely green person. So Marine Le Pen, she's far right. She's the leader. She's the far right leader. And she declared that she would deploy a major air conditioning equipment plan across the country if her nationalist party eventually came to power. Marine Tondelier, the head of France's Green Party, scoffed at Le Pen's idea and instead suggested solutions to warming temperatures that included greening cities and making buildings more energy efficient. But as we were noting before the show, if Kenny's going to Target today, he wants it cool inside there.
Right.
You want to wait 75 years for the greening of the city?
I've got sweat dripping off my earlobes. If I go to Target right now and buy an air conditioner, I will sleep soundly tonight when my house is at 66 degrees.
An opinion essay in Le Figaro, a conservative newspaper, defended air conditioning because making our fellow citizens sweat limits learning, reduces working hours, and clogs up hospitals. Liberation, a left-wing daily, countered such arguments, writing that technology was an environmental aberration that must be overcome because it blows hot air onto streets and guzzles up energy. Is air conditioning a far-right thing? One talk show host asked provocatively, reflecting how divisive the issue has become. Okay, now the temperatures have cooled off, so everybody's calmed down.
Operation Stay Cool?
Operation Stay Cool. I think I would err on the side of air conditioning, although I never use the air conditioning in my car. Maybe once a summer.
Is Souchere, that's a French name.
We've been through this, Ken. It's totally made up. It means land cleared of stumps.
Okay, I didn't want to go down that direction anyway.
Yeah.
You've been there, right?
I have. I've been to the family farm.
I have never been to France, and when I think of French people, I think of people that smell like really old, rotten cheese that's been sitting out in the barn for 6 months. How do they smell, the French people? They stink?
They're very well perfumed and clean. And
so they don't take showers or baths. They cover it up with perfume.
Did you read the part of this story, though, about how serious they are, in fact, taking this?
Who? The frogs?
They enacted an emergency scenario to alert people of a crisis. Did you know this?
I did not.
Okay, guys, let's do a super tornado siren.
Thanks, Frankie. Okay, Chris, I got it.
How far away are we about fighting about AC from a political standpoint?
Oh, those battles have been fought in this country.
Remember, we had it here.
Yeah, they've been fought here.
Because, Kenny, it was...
air conditioning is another example of white privilege.
Thank you, because was it Chicago?
Yes,
because of the excessive heat, and the politicians were saying that's they're deprived of air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like they want air conditioning.
Who?
I mean, the left isn't saying we don't want air conditioning. The left, in the case of Chicago, is saying we're being denied air conditioning.
Yeah.
So it's a little different.
Yeah. And as we all know, air conditioning can be blamed for ruining the United States government. They never used to show up there in the summer. But now they're there all the time.
All the time.
You know why? On account of, you want to know why?
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
That's the truth. That is a true story. I swear to you, that's the truth.
You can set it at 75, and it's still cool when you walk in.
77.
No, when it's 90 out, it feels like...
You morons.
This is the fourth shirt I've worn today.
I wish
Well, wait, I'll be right back. I got to change my underpants.
I wish I could
again.
claim that my contention has led to lower utility bills for me. It has not.
No. Because
it has not.
I have this argument inside my home where don't keep turning it up and then turning it down. Leave it.
Ours is left alone.
What mine is not is the problem. I said it takes way more energy to cool the house down.
It's the equivalent of setting your cruise control at 60 instead of going 40, 65, 70, 35. It's just set it and leave it and quit jacking around with the temperature.
Yeah, leave it be. Don't, because exactly, Kenny, because then we wake up and we're all sweating.
You know, when I get one of those cheat sheets that show how I'm faring against the neighborhood
I was
in my
gonna ask
energy
you about
use,
that. Yeah,
I usually lose. But in the last one, I wasn't in last place. I was in the fourth quadrant. There was 4 quadrants. I was in the third one.
Did you have less visitors?
The top are just ass kissers, and
sure.
and number 2 are would-be euphorians, and number 3, it said something like, "You're not that far off the mark," or something like that.
No, the ones at the top of the list are, "Oh, there's a nice breeze outside."
Those things are fake, by the way. I'm convinced they're
Yeah.
just phony. They make them up. It's BS.
Do they name names?
No, I wish they did.
Oh, wouldn't it be fun if they
You
did?
go and stand in their yard.
That'd be so
Wag
awesome.
your finger at them.
Yeah.
Anyway, in France, the Greens want to take it would take a long time to. Plus, can I ask you something? Sure. First of all, we don't know what greening the city means. It doesn't mean anything except the end of capitalism. But that ain't going to change the temperature. I mean, if you have a 100-degree day in Paris, it's a 100-degree day no matter if you got a green city or a blue city.
Oh, I thought it referred to shade, trees.
BFD. You're still going to be 100 degrees.
So you're now back on
Joe, it'll be 99 in the shade.
Okay.
Come on,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
But you're now back on the team of overriding government control. You're back on my team?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess the hotels that the fat Americans stay in, I bet they're well air conditioned, aren't they?
I never got along well with people in France. I did in rural areas, but when I got to the tall buildings, I just had a little issue.
Well, they hate you, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because we saved their bacon.
Mm-hmm. And then I drove too slowly. The cops were yelling at me for driving too slowly.
We hate you in America for that, too. So it's
Yesterday.
worldwide.
Hey,
Joe.
get over, Souchere.
Put your foot into it. Come on, Grandpa. Let's
Pull it on over.
go. Get out of the left lane there, sourpuss.
You would tell your father he drive like a woman.
Get that old driving on the right-hand side of the card.
I don't even know what accent that was. It certainly wasn't French.
It was not French.
It was Hispanic.
It was
I think.
Hispanic.
Yeah.
Well, that was an Hispanic cop in France.
Got it.
Say, yesterday
Diversity.
we celebrated the 52nd defendant to plead guilty in the Feeding Our Future scheme. That was Guhad Hashi Saeed. And today in Alpha News, we learn that Guhad, was a former enforcer for Ilhan Omar. Now, we were talking about this before the show.
Enforcer.
Yeah, and I'm just, it's from Crime Watch, Minnesota, but Alpha printed it, and I was disappointed because in the story we never learned what that meant. What did it mean that he was a one-time enforcer for Ilhan Omar's campaign?
As in, like, security?
Oh, well, I'm sure that's what it meant, but they used the term enforcer to, that's almost titillating, you know. I wonder what he did. Did he pack a gun and shoot people who got too close to her?
Well, anytime you see cameras or TV news approach her, she has a team of people around her.
Yeah.
Every time.
Anyway, we went through this fellow yesterday. He was the one feeding 5,000 meals a day, 7 days a week. That's 35,000 kids a week from a single apartment in an apartment building. But here's how.
I think
I have an
figured it
axiom.
out.
I have an axiom.
All right.
Let me see if I can do it. Not all Somali people who appear Not all Somalis appear in the news, but all Somalis who appear in the news are thieves. Ooh. Not all Somalis appear in the news,
Right.
but all Somalis who appear in the news are thieves.
Interesting.
And that thievery will continue with the election of Omar Fateh, would be my
They might even
prediction.
magnify.
Be my prediction. Because he has no interest nor any knowledge of Minnesota. He is a Marxist who intends to fulfill Marxist ideology, which has nothing to do with how we have traditionally led our lives in Minnesota. And I was reading something from there's a group in Minneapolis called All of Minneapolis. I don't know why I'm included in their almost daily emails. I get them and I appreciate them and I read them. They appear to be a group of centrist-minded DFLers. They appear to be the type of Minneapolis resident who longs for and campaigns for a traditional DFL as opposed to the DSA. And the emails that I receive are always signed by someone named Karen Birkland, who I've asked on the show before, and I emailed again today. I don't know why they would be hesitant to come on this show, but they seem to me to be the only people in Minneapolis putting up a good fight. I don't know what their membership is. I don't know how successful they've been in the past. I'm afraid I would have to say not terribly successful because they keep electing DSA people to the Minneapolis City Council, for example.
Right.
But when we come back, I'm going to tell you it's today's email from all of Minneapolis that alerted me to how we always say, well, there goes the end of Minneapolis if Fateh gets elected. Well, exactly how that would happen. I think I've put together a few puzzle pieces as to how, because I do firmly believe that if Omar Fateh is elected, that's the end of Minneapolis as we know it. It's rapidly becoming unrecognizable now, but it will be totally the end of Minneapolis if he gets elected. And I'll tell you why I think so. But first, I want to tell you, yes, Kenny.
I've solved the enforcer question if you care to go down that road.
Oh, I would like to hear it.
On that page on the internet, I realize you printed it out so you don't have it. The word enforcer is blue. So you click on that.
Oh.
And that takes you to a story from Alpha News, September 2nd, 2016.
Oh, boy.
Headline, a community forced into silence. Members of the Somali community are afraid to speak publicly about their disapproval of a candidate's involvement in apparent fraudulent marriages. Mm-hmm. And the story goes on to talk about one guy in particular, and it's that guy, Gulad Hashi, or however, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Hashi Saeed.
Yeah, and that's what they mean by an enforcer. He was one of the guys that was strong-arming the people in the Somali community into silence about Omar's marriage.
So he was defending Omar's fraudulent marriage. He was one of her bodyguards, in other words.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. You want a pup?
Time for a pup?
Well, it's time for a pup.
Give me that Garnish family. Where are they going?
It's the official food on a stick, and GL is still the greatest value at the State Fair because it's Minnesota State Fair's original food on a stick and the best bet at the State Fair for your pinching pennies. Yep. It's a wiener done in the bun.
Got her.
But they're great, and they're different than the other kinds. So this
is the real stuff.
This is the real deal.
I go to get.
Well, because it's been there since 1947. Mm-hmm. Established by the Carnes family, and Greg and Wayne Carnes, two GLers, are still in the business, and they run 8 locations throughout the fairgrounds. It's a great bargain. Put a little mustard on there. And you know what? You know what else I've noticed about it? It's not. You don't make a mess. It's not messy.
You're right.
It's not messy.
Like the chow cone, the failed chow
This
cone.
ain't the chow cone.
No, this is the real product.
This is something you can wolf down, and you're not going to get crud all over you.
Stood the test of time.
Make sure you support Pronto Pups this year, the official food on a stick in GL.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from I'm calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
Turns out I owe you, Joe Souchere, an apology. You know how much I hate when you interrupt my ads with your petty, dumb questions that prove you don't listen. But wait. I apologize for getting mad at you because on Monday you asked the question, if I remember right, something about storing coffee in the refrigerator. Wasn't that what the question was?
I just asked, should it be in the refrigerator or in a cabinet?
And I don't know if I said it out loud, but I thought to myself, oh, this guy again. I mean, good Lord. And that led to a discussion about the bags, the zip lock kind of bags that the coffee comes in. Stephen, the proprietor and owner of customroasting.net, heard that conversation and sent a very interesting email. I learned so much. This is from Steve. Our bags have a one-way valve because after roasting, coffee releases carbon dioxide, a process known as degassing. The valve allows those gases to escape without letting in any outside air. I like to call it a coffee fart. It's just the beans doing their thing after roasting. Now, to keep your coffee as fresh as possible, the zipper helps seal the bag, but I always recommend pushing out as much air as you can before sealing it and then folding the bag down tightly before zipping. This really helps. And now he addresses your question, Joe. Some folks like to refrigerate or freeze their coffee, and while that can help, the most important thing is to minimize air exposure. Oxygen, light, heat, and moisture are the biggest enemies of fresh coffee. If you keep the bag sealed and store it at room temperature away from light and heat, it'll be just fine on the shelf at home. How cool is that, Suchi boy?
There's a lot to learn about coffee.
There is. All of that fresh info, of course, from Stephen, the proprietor and roaster at customroasting.net. They are the supplier of fresh, fine coffee to both GL and the Krabby Coffee Shop. Go to the website. You know what? Click every single tab on the website. That's what I did, and I learned everything I could about them. And then click on the GL tab and order that sample bundle that features the French Roast, Boundary Waters Blend, the Morning Blend, and the Columbia Excelso. I've had all of them. Each one is wonderful. Not only is this the freshest roasted coffee you can get, it stays fresh once it arrives at your home. A fantastic cup of coffee, a reasonable price, customroasting.net.
I want to read you, it's not necessarily unrelated to talking about the Somalis in Minneapolis. Kelsey provided me this. Another great quote from Thomas Sowell. The real motives of liberals have nothing to do with the welfare of other people. Instead, they have two related goals: to establish themselves as morally and intellectually superior to the rather distasteful population of common people, and to gather as much power as possible to tell those distasteful common people how they must live their lives. Thank you, Thomas Sowell, who was a great thinker. All of Minneapolis, again, it's this group that seems to be fighting. That I hope she responds to my email, Karen Birkland. I'd love to find out more about this group. They seem to be trying to preserve a Minneapolis that's recognizable to most people. And she's writing in this current email or news release, she writes, recent press pieces have portrayed the Democratic Socialists of America as merely a group of young idealists that are to the left of mainstream Democrats. In a response to a piece published in the Star Tribune last week, all of Minneapolis director Jacob Hill wrote that the recent depiction of the DSA completely failed to capture the meaningful differences between DSA-aligned activists and pragmatic DFLers, many of whom all of Minneapolis has endorsed. According to Hill, much of what the DSA stands for can be summarized in 3 bullet points: defunding the police, strict rent control, and siphoning municipal funds into unaccountable nonprofits. And then the recipient of this email can be linked to the DSA platform, which I've referenced before. I have a copy of the DSA platform on my desk. I urge anyone who wants to know about the DSA to study the platform, which is very long. It's a very long document.
Yeah.
Well, that gave me here's how the Somalis will ruin Minneapolis. Siphoning municipal funds into unaccountable nonprofits. That's exactly what we've already seen.
It's already happening. Yeah.
We've already seen not all Somalis appear in the news, but all Somalis who appear in the news are thieves. And they've been thieves with food fraud money, Medicare, autism, school buses, wherever there's funding, it's been fraudulently stolen and used. And that, can you imagine now with a Somali mayor, a DSA Somali mayor, and DSA activists on the city council, can you imagine how difficult it will be for truth to prevail in trying to follow the public dollar? Can you imagine how many nonprofits will receive funding for some task that A, the government should be doing anyway, and B, will be unknown to most people? Yes.
To the point where, remember, when the payments first stopped, it was Omar Fateh who complained the loudest about the Freeding Our Future payments.
They had the nerve to call that immoral.
Correct.
You're cutting our funding? Why, that's immoral.
Right.
These are bold people. It's taken them about 32 seconds to figure out how to play the rest of us for fools. And this is how it will happen. Siphoning municipal funds into unaccountable nonprofits. And then it says, parenthetically, please review the DSA platform here. I haven't found that in the DSA platform. It wouldn't surprise me if I did. Now, it wouldn't be phrased like that. It would be DSA has as its purpose the husbanding of as much public municipal funding as possible for purposes of doing the work that the DSA advocates, or something like that. What that's going to mean is more of what we're seeing now. We're seeing now all the fraud committed against the state of Minnesota's, essentially its municipal funds, your tax money. What can possibly be the future of Minneapolis if you get a DSA mayor and a DSA city council? You got no shot. You got no shot. No shot.
Because then there's no opposing viewpoint at all.
Well, there isn't now.
Well, at least
there is now.
Fry, in a sense, can be, because the city council and he don't like each other. Or they're at odds, I should say.
I figured out how Fry could win. And I'll share this on the air. Maybe somebody could make him listen to it.
Well, is this the equivalent of having him on and then he's going to lose?
No, because he's not here in person.
Okay, good. All right.
Fry needs to develop a set of testicles. He needs to be stronger. He needs to say, the history of the DFL runs through this state and this city. And then he has to be strong in what he thinks the DFL stands for as it is contrasted to the DSA. And he can't pretend anymore to walk the fence and go out and take his Somali speaking lessons and put on his ridiculous ill-fitting jeans and pretend to do some bleeping dance in the neighborhood like he's one of the people. He's got to get tough if he wants to save the city, and he's got to use language like that, he said, look, this is a mayoral race for the future of this city, whether this city will survive or not. And if he doesn't go down that road, I'm not going to be shocked at all if he loses.
He needs to go to the 2003 Honda Elantra or whatever he has in the glove box and pull out his testicles that were removed so many years ago.
He just can't keep having it both ways. He can't keep walking. He has to, and he has to a certain extent, but he must increase his defense of police. How many windows did we break last night in town? How many car windows?
125.
125, John? Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I thought? Wouldn't it be great if a guy could rig up a little hand grenade that when you open the glove box door,
That's
I don't
illegal.
care. You open the glove box door, it would blow up.
That'll get you to prison.
You go right to prison for that one.
Well, you know what I mean.
Well, he doesn't mean he wants to do it. He wants somebody
I'm
else
not
to do
saying
it.
that you should.
Somebody else should do it.
I'm not
him.
saying you should do that. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be interesting?
Wouldn't that be a surprise?
How about something that releases a bunch of bear spray?
Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
So you're just for some light maiming.
Well, they'd flop around on the ground
Yeah,
long
I'm
enough
for
that
that.
the police might show up. I am. I don't know what I am right now. Do you realize what you just did with this advice for the mayor? You're giving advice to a Democrat, telling him how to win an election.
Yep.
Wow.
Which is really weird for
Yes,
me
that's
to
very
hear
weird.
you do that.
Yes, it is.
But on the other hand, you mentioned a lot of things that any conservative would say. I would say everything you said. I agree with everything. But those tactics are why no Republican will ever get elected in Minneapolis.
But
So
if,
I don't know. Will it work? Will that work? Your
yes,
tactics.
yes.
It doesn't work for conservatives.
No, but it'll work for a Democrat.
We wanted, in order for a Democrat to win,
You've got to
against-
act like a Republican.
Yeah. What a strange times we live in.
No, Fry has to quit being wishy-washy.
Yeah.
He's got to take a stand for the future of the city. Right now, he continues on a daily basis to look like a fool.
Does
Quit
he realize,
looking like a fool, Fry.
Does he have any idea what's riding on this? Does he understand?
That's where I was going to go, Kenny, because part of me wonders, just given everything he's been through, George Floyd, the riots.
Which I thought he handled poorly.
I agree. What I'm saying is, does he still even want the job?
Well, that's a good question. If all of a sudden he said, I really don't want the job, you'd really have to vote for him because you got to vote for the guy who least wants the job.
But when you ask, or when Kenny posed, the future, and does he realize what's at stake? Does he care?
There's a bit.
He's not from here.
There's a bit of Fry's character that is playing into an axiom we created yesterday, and that is what we're seeing is that most often mayors of cities closest to the country's tallest buildings are failing to impress their constituents because they're too busy trying to impress their party. And I think there's a part of Fry that, like Melvin, he's still hoping to be recognized by the Democratic Party of the country. And he's got to be selfless enough to put that aside and realize that if he wants to do something good, he needs to save the city of Minneapolis. And you have to do this in spite of a governor who's no help, in spite of a legislature who's no help, and in spite of a Minneapolis City Council who's no help. He has to really become a guy, maybe for the first time in his life. He has to take a stand. He's got to come out front and quit this BS, glad-handing, showing up at, festivals with wearing a dress or whatever the hell he does. Get out there and be a man and try to save this city. Otherwise, all the city's funding will disappear into nonprofit fraud. It'll just disappear. And there won't be enough money to save it. There won't be. You'll wear out even people with the wealth of the poleads.
I was just going to say, not to mention how many of whatever's left of business will even stay here.
Yeah.
You're going to lose most of what's left of your tax base.
So that's it for me.
Well, because we did get the announcement this morning, the poleads are sticking around.
Yeah, I saw that. So back to this all of Minneapolis. I'll keep trying to have one of them on, and they continue to believe there'll be misuse of funds and outright fraud and abject failure. It's important to point out that in many of the instances where city funding goes to nonprofits, municipal employees could be providing these services in much more efficiently and with sufficient oversight. But we're not getting that. We're not getting that. This is the DSA. It's not a good outfit. These are not good people. Politically, they might be kind.
Why do they get so much pub?
They might pet the dog and be kind to their neighbor, but they have a political ideology that is anathema to the way we should be living our lives in a free country.
Hold up.
And if they take it away from you, don't say you've been warned. What?
What did you say?
Anathema.
What the is that?
That's opposite or something.
Rookie, I got your alarm.
Oh.
That's the bleep that word alarm.
He sounds like a sick animal.
If I never hear that word again, I'll be okay in my life.
He sounds like a sick moose.
Yeah.
The best is the pause with the alarm goes off.
Well, he's got to take a breath.
He's got to catch his breath.
Yeah. What were you doing?
We need to hear from our friends of Center for the American Experiment.
Where would we be without them? They're going to be at the fair.
Yes, they are.
On the first Saturday of the fair, talking about education, specifically about how the schools aren't as good as they once were and not as good as you think. And they're not just talking about Minneapolis and St. Paul. For the second year in a row, less than half of Minnesota students are meeting grade level benchmarks in reading and math. Let that sink in. Less than half of Minnesota students are meeting grade level benchmarks in reading and math. Wow, statewide problem. Since 2015, Mississippi's black and Hispanic students have consistently outperformed Minnesota in national reading and math scores.
I never thought I would hear that.
But the graduation rate is an all-time high because they don't give a bleep. Just send you through the puppy mill and get rid of you. Yep. So anyway, they're out there. We've tried more money. We've tried more bureaucracy. Now it's time to something else. Put families first. American Experiment's 7K for Kids campaign would give parents control of $7,000 a kid per year to choose the best education for their kids. Public, private, charter, homeschool, whatever fits. Learn more at 7kforkids.com or americanexperiment.org. It's time for a real school choice and a better future for Minnesota's kids.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Remember that email we received from Harley rider John last week? He stopped into a Super 8. Redfield, South Dakota, I believe, was the location.
Yep.
They gave him a mini spray bottle of Bugs Be Gone to clean the bugs from his bike. John has since departed South Dakota and Sturgis, covered many miles. He's now out in Washington State, and he sent another email yesterday. Hey, Kenny, I'm currently in the Spokane area, and this morning while doing maintenance on the Harley, I demonstrated to my brother how Bugs Be Gone works. I sprayed it on the crustiest splats on my windshield, let it soak in for a couple of minutes, and then wiped it clean with a cloth. He was impressed. I hope to be heading towards the Pacific Ocean in a couple of days to pick up more bugs to clean off. It really makes cleaning bugs fun. He's not wrong. Have a great day, gang. John. Now, I contend that is absolutely brilliant marketing from both Super 8 and Seafoam. Nothing works better for your product or your business than customer testimonies and positive reviews. And this Bugs Be Gone works better than anything else on the market. If you don't trust me, trust John. He's used it all the way out to the West Coast. If you're wondering where to get Bugs Be Gone, the simplest, easiest way, just go to seafoamworks.com and order it and any other Seafoam product you need. Have it delivered right to your door. Again, that's seafoamworks.com. A wonderful product in a world of splats and goo and soot. Bugs Be Gone.
Wonder how it works on pine tree stuff.
Yeah, that goo.
Yeah.
I think it probably works
It
fantastic.
can't hurt it any.
The sap?
Yeah.
Here's John Heidt in the newsroom.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Banking Company. A sports note that Chris alluded to a few minutes ago.
Wait. Let me get my thing ready. Here we go. Yeah. Go ahead, Johnny.
So the Pohlads will not be selling the Minnesota Twins.
What?
Actually, I'm pleased with this news. They're bringing in two minority partners who might have a great deal of influence.
The Pohlad family will retain ownership, the team said this morning, 10 months after announcing their intention to sell the franchise. Joe Pohlad saying, our family will remain the principal owner of the Minnesota Twins. And as Joe just said, while retaining majority control of the organization, Joe Pohlad said the family will be taking on two new groups of partners. The Pohlads say they plan to share more on the new minority owners once the transactions are cleared by Major League Baseball.
I got a text last night from a kid I used to have who said, it's almost becalming to watch the Twins go in and get thrashed by the Yankees. It's almost like the world is in its perfect.
Right where we're supposed to be.
Right where we're supposed to be.
Yeah. They got massacred last night.
The struggling Yankees are back on track.
Chris, you have had a lot of real estate transactions in your history. Do you want to translate what happened there, or should I? Because I, too, have done a few real estate.
We don't got S, so we're going to stay right here.
Ain't nobody buying this piece of S for the money we need. So.
Do you know something we don't know?
I don't.
Okay. All right.
I don't.
Do the Twins make money?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay.
Their problem is all of their other outside businesses that are failing miserably.
Okay, but the Pohlads are not going to give Joe Souchere and Chris Reavers because they invest part of the profits. That doesn't help their situation.
Well, if they're part owners, they have to split whatever
percentage. If you become
percentage.
part of an owner, you're going to get part of the profits.
That's what I'm saying. As far as the Pohlads are concerned, they're going to be making less money.
John, do you think that they knew they were going to do this when they pretty much cleaned house?
Joe claims no. Joe Pohlad claims absolutely not.
Yeah, and that was when I first read the story, Kenny, that was my first thought too, but Joe's right. Joe Pohlad says that was not involved.
Joe needs to understand that the optics of all of this just look horrible. And I alluded to this last week when I said, don't announce that you're cutting payroll. Just do it.
Yeah, you know what, though? The facts are the facts. The team on the field now is no different than the team they traded away.
Oh, for sure. And again, I like a lot of the moves they made, but wait and announce this when the season's over.
I wish they would have kept that headband jerk from the outfield.
Oh, you liked
Bader.
Yeah.
I didn't like him, but I recognized his abilities.
I know why. He reminds you of an X Games, like a BMX snowmobile riding kind of a guy.
No, it's that headband. If he'd lose the headband, I'd be okay with him. Something's happened to me in my old age where young people now just irritate
you.
I was asked by someone in the house if Buxton was a Muslim. I said, why? Well, look at his hat. I said, that's a Twins sweatband. That's not a...
Wow. He was born in Georgia.
Is this the same brand new NFL fan in your house?
I'll say.
Oh, hey, by the way, you can let her know? Guess what debuted today?
Do you think I'm not aware of that?
Tay-Tay was on the All Heights or Heights level, whatever the hell it's called, the Kelsey Brothers podcast.
I wish my girlfriend was Taylor
Swift.
Or whatever the hell her name is.
Or
Taylor Swift. Because we'd be the #1 podcast in the country.
Why?
Some of your staff members contend if you'd bring in, the CP once or twice a week, we might be the biggest
bonanza.
Not going to happen.
Look at him. Just look at him.
Look at him.
So my guess is you're going to start saving because that means she's going on tour.
I'm not. I'm done with that. I did it once. That's all I'm obligated to do. No, I did it once. That's it.
In news,
You got a baby to support.
Yeah.
There's some fans that will actually follow her from city to city.
Yeah. I know a few I wish you'd take off.
Wow. In news, Mayor Fry's $2 billion budget proposal for Minneapolis unveiled today would require a 7.8% increase in the city's property tax levy.
It is levity, John.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't mean that. He said this is not an austerity budget. This is a recalibration. With rising construction costs and employee salaries dropping downtown office building venues, and it looks like funding changes from the federal government will cause some problems for the city budget. He said the budget crafting process was all about finding cuts this year. Just to maintain current spending levels, the city's property tax levy would have to go up about 13%, Fry said. That's an even worse starting point than last year when the more progressive city council and mayor clashed over a $1.9 billion budget, which Fry vetoed in a historic move. That budget required a 6.8% increase in the property tax levy. This year, with the mayoral and council seats before voters, the mayor's priority was to reduce that 13% projected increase. Instead of bringing ideas for new programs, city employees were asked to find ways to save money. General fund spending would increase nearly $13 million from this year to next under the proposal. The owner of a $333,000 Minneapolis home would pay $2,272 in city property taxes, an increase of about $240.
That's all. It's just $240 a year.
Nothing.
For the last 20, 30 years.
Dropping the buck.
Fry and the council must pass a balanced budget before the end of the year, and the council is sure to take issue with some of the spending shifts that the mayor is proposing.
I can't believe I'm actually lobbying on behalf of that guy. Oh, God.
Well, that's just how dire of a situation it is.
Get tougher, Fry.
I'm on Ballotpedia, and it's got the analysis of spending in America's largest cities. Do you want to know what the budget for Minneapolis was in 2015? Joe, that's just 10 years ago.
What was it?
$1 billion.
Really?
It's doubled in 10 years.
Do you think the property tax payers have had their income doubled in the last 10 years?
I don't believe so, sir.
Or services doubled in the last 10 years?
No.
The results are now in for that special primary election to fill the House seat held by the late Representative Melissa Hortman. Former Brooklyn Park City Council member XP Lee won the DFL special election primary over Christian Erickson and Erickson Say. Lee, who was endorsed by the DFL, won the primary with 59.15% of the votes. He'll be running against the lone Republican Ruth Bittner, who's currently a real estate agent. That special election set for September 16th. The new House member will then be sworn into office and serve the rest of Representative Hortman's term.
Come on, Ruthie.
Okay, just back to the city budgets again. There's another article related to this. San Francisco's budget, Joe, in California, is larger than 17 different states in this country.
Wow. Yeah.
Molly Coleman has won the special election for the Ward 4 seat on the St. Paul City Council. In unofficial results late Tuesday night, Coleman had more than 52% of the vote. Since she has more than half of the vote, there won't be a reallocation process under St. Paul's ranked choice voting system. Coleman is the founder of the progressive court reform nonprofit People's Parity Project and daughter of former St. Paul Mayor Chris Coleman. Coleman is set to join the council later this month. She will take her seat as the city faces what will likely be a challenging budget year amid declining property values and federal cuts. Ward 4 is northwestern St. Paul and includes all or part of 5 neighborhoods: Hamlin Midway, Merriam Park, St. Anthony Park, and parts of McAllister, Groveland, and Como. Minneapolis police say at least 125 more cars were broken into, mostly through smashed windows, overnight Monday into Tuesday, continuing a trend as investigators continue to look for suspects. One of the hardest hit spots, northeast Minneapolis near Marshall Street and Broadway Avenue, where cell phone video showed an organized and aggressive strategy by the criminals, going vehicle by vehicle, smashing windows and looking for goods to steal. Over the last several weeks, there have been hundreds of reports of vehicles getting broken into in the city. Our friends down at 5 Eyewitness News asked for an on-camera interview with the police, but they only sent a statement to the station confirming that there are extra patrols in the targeted areas, but they didn't say how many patrols, how often they're in the areas, and if there's anything else they could do to put an end to the recent outbreak. Overnight, from August 11th to August 12th, MPD responded to at least 125 reports of the broken windows, meaning multiple vehicles on the same block were damaged during the same date and time. Currently, no arrests have been connected to any of the sprees.
They're easily scared away, too, because I was watching this news footage on Channel 5, and some woman opened her window and just yelled something unintelligible, and they just scattered like ants.
I'm taping your video.
Yeah, I'm videotaping you.
And boy, I really do think I would rig something up so that if you open the glove box, you're sprayed with bear spray.
But didn't we have
sprayed with bear spray? Sprayed with bear sprays. Spray.
No,
it's easy for you to
jackass.
say.
Hey, jackass, I'm videotaping you.
And they run.
Hey, jackass, I've got a 12 gauge.
Boom!
Hey, come back here. Stop running.
Don't you guys remember, though, the guy that was shot at when he just merely looked out the window in, was it South Minneapolis?
Yes, I do.
What do you think of the tactic? I've heard a lot of people say this, that they leave their doors unlocked and no valuables inside.
Aren't they still punching windows anyway?
I think these idiots are just idiots, so they're still going to break the window.
That was my question. Do you suppose they even bother to check the door handle before they break the window?
That story Joe talked about, one of the fellas said, well, I quit leaving anything in my car after I heard about the first set of break-ins, and his window was still busted out the other day.
Yeah, because they check your center console and your glove box and all of that. Yeah.
I'd have a sign in my car that says, I've put everything of value in the trunk. And then when they break open the trunk, some spring-loaded something gets them.
An actual bear would hop
and maybe a real bear. Yeah.
Quite an assumption that they could read, but in the Are We Still Hip department, I would like to point out that 80% of the staff just said, I'm videotaping you, to which a Gen Xer would say, you mean recording? Yeah, I don't know what videotaping is. So.
Like a Xerox machine.
In all honesty, Rook, as soon as I said it, I thought, God, I just sounded like I was 100 years old.
Same.
I couldn't care less. I really don't care.
Speaking of the MPD, as staffing at the police department reaches its highest level in years, city officials are ending double overtime pay for officers. The department announced the decision on Tuesday to not renew critical staffing overtime, meaning officers now will be paid time and a half instead of double time while working overtime. City officials say that decision will save taxpayers about $3.5 million. According to MPD, the number of sworn personnel has increased by 17% since the end of 2023, with 614 recruits and officers as of 2025. Applications for CSOs and cadets have also increased, with applications in 2025 already exceeding total apps from last year. Since the end of 2023, the number of sworn personnel has gone from 561 to 614, the number of community service officers from 17 to 55, and the number of police cadets has gone from 8 to 16.
Doesn't double overtime sound like it's something negative? You're on double overtime.
Well, in this case, it probably can be.
Well, that's true.
And Star Tribune reporting a Blaine man was convicted Tuesday in a Medicaid fraud case after his agency, Promise Health Services, stole more than $7 million that he reportedly used to fund what they called a lavish lifestyle. Jurors found Abdi Fattah Youssef guilty of 6 counts of aiding and abetting theft by swindle.
Axiom.
Not all Somalis appear in the news, but all Somalis who appear in the news are thieves.
John, may I ask you where you got the story? There's a reason I'm asking.
Yeah, actually, I opened that, Chris, by saying the Star Tribune report.
Okay, I didn't hear that part. I'm sorry. But
I can verify.
I love that because I figured it was, but I love that they title it A Blaine Man. At the beginning.
Guy from Blaine's a Blaine Bengal. Right. What are you going to do?
The Minnesota Attorney General's office charged Youssef last year with investigators saying his business claimed to provide home and community-based services, but it was a sham entity that operated for years out of a mailbox. Attorney General Keith Ellison said in a statement, stealing money meant for poor people's health care and using it to buy luxury cars and designer clothes is as shameful and disgraceful as it gets. An investigation into the provider found a pervasive lack of documentation for billed medical services at promise, and when documentation did exist, it was largely fraudulent, according to Kaylee Podiknik of the Attorney General's Medicaid Fraud Control Unit. She said she uncovered many forms of fraud at the provider, including overbilled claims, people saying they did not get services, and recipients getting illegal kickbacks.
I can't help but think of the great Lewis Black bit about people spending crazy money. And none of these Somalis are spending their money very creatively. They either just get a new car or a new house.
Get out of here.
Personal ball washer. That was what Lewis Black came up with.
What I was thinking of, there's two cartoon bubbles.
Yeah.
Somali, lavish lifestyle, American lavish lifestyle. Are those two the same, or are they two completely different things?
No, I think they're pretty much the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
A nice car and some designer clothes?
Yeah.
Buy an island.
Designer clothes.
Buy an island.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a quick break here before we have some national news and hear from Chris Reavers.
You know what?
Chris?
Speaking of money,
Hey!
North American Banking Company is here to help save you money. That's right, because they do one thing at North American Banking Company, and that's banking done differently.
They do it by the book.
Well, not really.
They got their own book.
They got their own philosophy.
You're right, though.
So if you're tired of just being a number to your big national bank, then turn to my friends at North American Banking Company. I'm here to speak to you business owners because they want to solve your problems quickly and expand your business with confidence. And that's why they have all of their loans that are done right here in-house. They don't send them out of state whatsoever.
Aren't they locally owned?
Locally owned.
Well, there's your key.
And operated. And Joe, they've been at it since 1998 when they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers where you know your banker and they know you. And it doesn't matter. Maybe you're looking to buy a home, maybe finance a new home renovation project, or even get that new car.
Buy an island.
That you've been thinking about. You know what? Call up Bilski and ask if you can buy an island. And I guarantee
get you an island.
North American Banking Company will be able to find a way to make that happen. So your first step is checking them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender.
Christmas story.
I know it is.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
No mice, no critters, no hail damage, no sleet or snow, and most importantly, no prying eyes. It's super secure, so Johnny Sneakums can't walk away with your goods. What am I talking about? I'm talking about AnywayStorage.com. They can help you out with a variety of shipping containers, both for sale and rent. Now, by the way, you don't have to use these things exclusively for storage. You can turn it into an office if you want, or make a little cabin. I don't know, whatever you want. We're talking about a Minnesota-based business here, not some faraway joint out on the East Coast. With AnywayStorage.com, you can actually stop into one of their yards. They have places in Grand Rapids, Stewartville, Ellendale, AnywayStorage.com. That means all of Minnesota, the eastern side of the Dakotas, Wisconsin, Iowa, even Canada covered. They offer 10, 20, and 40-foot containers, sealed, lockable, and perfect for folks that need secure storage. I don't know, at your home, your cabin, undeveloped hunting property. Stop into one of the locations before you rent it or purchase it. But you can choose the options on these things. They offer modifications for the 20-foot and 40-foot shipping containers, roll-up doors, shelves, smaller service doors, windows, you name it. They can do it for you. And be sure to ask about the GL special. Then make the deal. They'll drop it off at the place of your choosing. Check out the website. You'll learn so much more. And then make plans to acquire your own storage shipping container today. That's AnywayStorage.com.
Before John begins, I must say something about the news.
Okay.
The news is so untrustworthy.
How untrustworthy is it?
News.
On the same day, March 27, 2024, CBS had this on their news site. Earth is spinning faster than it used to. Clocks might have to skip a second to keep up. On the same day, NBC had on their site, Melting polar ice is slowing the Earth's rotation with possible consequences for timekeeping. Ba-dum-boom.
Wow.
So who do you
catch.
believe?
Huh? That's why I said it's untrustworthy.
Right.
Which side you pick?
You don't.
You have to hang on.
I guess at this point I can't see any reason to continue with the news. Then.
It's so untrustworthy.
How untrustworthy is it
that
still?
John doesn't even want to continue.
No, it's not me. It's you.
Oh,
I learned something interesting today. Are you guys? You're not flat earthers, are you?
oh, I am sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then you two don't listen. For the rest of us, though, the Earth is not a perfect sphere.
What is it?
It's 26 miles longer around the equator than it is from pole to pole.
It's fatter.
Interesting.
How do you like that?
Got the mid.
He's got a fat belly.
Got the bulge.
26 miles thicker.
Damn near a bulge in the swimsuit area.
No?
In national and international
Okay.
news. That was fascinating, though, Kenny.
And earthly.
You're welcome.
Russian forces made a
Did
sudden...
I say something? I'm sorry, John.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
why the Earth wobbles. It doesn't turn smoothly.
What do you mean?
The wobbles.
It wobbles a little.
Is it drunk?
No, it's got the heavy midriff.
No.
You know.
Do you remember Ozzy had the wobbles?
Yeah.
Sharon, I've got the wobbles.
Well, what's Pat get? The no.
Willies.
No.
Whirlies.
The whirlies. He gets the whirlies.
And weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
All right, John.
Russian forces made a sudden thrust in eastern Ukraine in recent days as Russian leader Vladimir Putin seeks a battlefield advantage ahead of talks with President Trump on Friday. The infantry penetration, which officials and soldiers said stretched several miles near the Ukrainian city of Dobropilya, is a rare move in a war where defenses have gained the upper hand and Russia has struggled to add to the around 20% of Ukraine that it has occupied for much of its 3.5-year invasion. Now, Putin meets with President Trump in Alaska on Friday. No representatives, though, from Ukraine will be on hand for that meeting. Meanwhile, this morning, the Times of London reporting that Russia and the U.S. have discussed Israel's occupation of the West Bank as a model for ending the war in Ukraine. Under that scenario, Russia would have military and economic control of occupied Ukraine under its own governing body, imitating Israel's de facto rule of Palestinian territory seized from Jordan in 1967. An idea was allegedly raised weeks ago in discussions between Steve Witkoff, President Trump's peace envoy, and his Russian counterparts, according to a source close to the U.S. National Security Council. No word, of course, from the Russians or Ukraine on any of that. Severe health care staffing shortages at the Department of Veterans Affairs are on the rise, according to their annual watchdog report. VA's Office of Inspector General found that Veterans Health Administration facilities reported more than 4,400 severe staffing shortages in fiscal year 2025, a 50% increase compared to the previous year. At least 20% of VHA facilities surveyed by the Inspector General's office reported severe staffing shortages for more than 40 occupations. That would be the highest number of occupations with severe staffing shortages in the past decade. Wall Street Journal reporting the White House plans to conduct a far-reaching review of Smithsonian Museum exhibitions, materials, and operations ahead of America's 250th anniversary to ensure the museums align with President Trump's interpretation of American history. In a letter sent to Lonnie Bunch, the secretary of the Smithsonian Institution, 3 top White House officials said they want to ensure the museums present the, quote, unity, progress, and enduring values that define the American story and reflect the president's executive order calling for, quote, restoring truth and sanity to American history. Areas under scrutiny range from public-facing exhibition text and online content to internal curatorial processes, exhibition planning, and the use of collections and artist grants. Fewer Americans are reporting they drink alcohol amid a growing belief that even moderate alcohol consumption is a health risk. All of this according to a new Gallup poll released this morning. A record high percentage of U.S. adults, 53%, now say moderate drinking is bad for their health. That's up from 28% just 10 years ago. The uptick in doubt about alcohol's benefits.
Uptick gets foghorns.
I got it.
The uptick in doubt about alcohol's benefits is largely driven by young adults, the age group that is most likely to believe drinking 1 or 2 drinks a day can cause health hazards. But older adults are also now increasingly likely to think moderate drinking carries risks. As concerns about health impacts rise, fewer Americans are reporting that they drink. Survey says 54% of U.S. adults say they drink alcoholic beverages like liquor, wine, or beer. That's lower than any point in the past 30 years. The findings of the poll, which was conducted in July, indicate that after years of many believing moderate drinking was harmless or even beneficial, worries about alcohol consumption are taking hold. According to Gallup's data, even those who consume alcohol are drinking much less of it.
But you're assuming that they're not lying. Why would you tell the truth on a survey like that? Those surveys are like your cardiologist. Just lie, lie, lie.
I never have lied to the cardiologist in my life, Kenny.
Well, maybe that's your problem.
What a good guy to lie to as well. Hey, I didn't tell him the truth. You kid, he's my cardiologist.
I don't know that I've ever lied to a doctor, seriously.
Oh, hell.
I'd be afraid to.
Really?
Oh, sick brag, dude.
Didn't the doctor ever tell you to quit drinking? You say to him, just calm down.
Hang on here.
Just calm down a
Take
little,
one
will
step
you?
at a time.
Why do you think I quit drinking?
Yeah.
Really?
The American company credited with revolutionizing amateur photography is warning it might go out of business after more than 130 years.
What's this, John?
Kodachrome.
Rochester, New York-based Eastman Kodak Company, offering a bleak picture of its financials and earnings reports and filings, tracking a second quarter loss and sending shares tumbling in early trading yesterday. The brand said in Monday, August 11th government filings, there is what they called substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue as it faces more than $470 million in debt and slashes its pension plan in an attempt to stay afloat. Kodak became one of America's biggest companies in the late 19th century with the introduction of the Kodak #1 camera in 1888. Credited with making photography accessible to the everyday person. Though it rose to prominence for its film photography products, it struggled to adapt to the changing industry as digital imaging took over, with the company filing for bankruptcy in 2012. In recent years, it's pursued specialty chemicals and pharmaceuticals. Kodak's chief financial officer, David Bullwinkle, said...
Nice. Hey, Rocky.
David Bullwinkle said, "Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat."
I can.
That's not what he said. August 11th statement that it plans to focus on its advanced chemicals and materials sector moving forward, and said the cut to its retirement program is moving toward paying down its debt.
Sorry, folks, we're closed for 2 weeks to clean and repair.
Well, that's a different post.
Maybe only John remembers this, but remember you had a Polaroid land camera.
Sure.
And you'd take a picture, and it would spit out the piece of paper, and then you'd sit there like a fool.
You have to wave it.
You wave it around, and don't let the sun get on
like
it, and then all of a sudden you'd have a picture.
Two versions of that. The first version was you'd peel a paper away.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And then the second fancy one, it would just give you that photo of your wife as she was getting out of the shower because you surprised her.
But now...
Before you sent it into...
but now...
you hung that on the Christmas tree.
But now you can, you have a phone that just does it instantly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder Kodak's in trouble.
Did you say they were going to continue on with their chemicals, John? Because how many people are actually using, what is it, E2 and C41?
Specialty chemicals and pharmaceuticals is what it's pursued in recent years. So,
okay.
That's what it will continue with.
Not necessarily film processing chemicals.
No.
Gotcha.
Where do you rate Paul Simon's Kodachrome?
I don't. It's not part of the discussion.
Why?
It's a different
about
song.
a camera.
It is a great song, but it's not really about a camera hook. I mean,
about life.
If you look at the lyric, I mean.
Oh my God, he's going to FYI you on a Kodachrome.
I'd like to, can I?
If you were going to go down
music.
that route, Rookie, you should be talking about Nickelback's great song, Photograph.
Ooh. John, thank you.
I thought
Anybody
that was
talking Nickelback
Def Leppard.
Look at this
Def
photograph. Every time I do
know.
it makes me laugh.
Nickelback.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Chris is fired.
You're all fired.
Is that the
Chris,
one about
I'm
the
fired.
poster on the wall?
Yes.
Goodbye.
Masters Maples is here
Wow, look
to
at that.
rescue this conversation. How about
Too
this?
late.
Last night was taco night at the Reavers household.
What'd you put on?
Savory seasoning
Oh.
on the ground beef.
Yeah, I can't Can't argue with that.
It's still grilling season, ladies and gentlemen, so take advantage of the sweet and the savory seasonings and rubs with Masters Maples and mastersmaples.com. Don't forget about the dang maple syrup either. It's the best thing going right now, and it's 100% Minnesota made. And you know what? Not all sweeteners are created equal. Maple syrup can bring a unique flavor to the table, but also has benefits that refined sugars just simply do not have. Simply put, it's the best sweetener that nature has to offer, and you can get yours right now at mastersmaples.com. We have some news upcoming here in the next couple of weeks about other places you're going to be able to buy Masters Maples products, but for right now, go to mastersmaples.com, place your order. Either it's the 100% pure maple syrup or the bourbon barrel-aged maple syrup, which is very popular. Also for you bakers, the absolute best maple sugar. It's all there for you. So place your order today at mastersmaples.com and let them know that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Offered as though it is new, Dateline, Fort Collins, Colorado. Residents in Fort Collins have been spotting something unusual while walking their neighborhoods. Rabbits that appear to have tentacle-like growths.
Come on.
Coming out of the top of their head.
Gross.
KUSA reached out to Colorado Parks and Wildlife and the Humane Society about the unusual bunnies. Rabbits appear to enjoy living in Fort Collins. They're often spotted hopping through neighborhoods. But there are rabbits that when neighbors spot them, cute is not the word. It's kind of like a scabbish-looking growth over their face, one resident said, but didn't provide her name because she probably didn't want to have the rabbits react.
Right, yeah, once the word gets out.
And then they were posting photos on it. I got news for you. Our backyard last year was full of these rabbits.
Really?
With these growths on them, yeah. It's they don't look good. But this year I'm not seeing it. Well, you know what it is? It's a virus.
Oh.
And it's not contagious to other animals. That's why you're not seeing the local dog walking around with the big horn coming out of his face.
Right.
You're supposed to leave the animals alone. But that's true of all wildlife, right?
They're not your friend.
And Colorado Parks and Wildlife said there's no cure for the virus. It's like warts or benign cancerous cells that keep growing.
Wow.
Now, what causes the... What causes the rabbits to develop this, I have no idea.
It's probably meth. It sounds like
Could
the
be.
meth face.
Yeah.
Meth face.
But geez, the poor guys, they look terrible. Well, this year we've got a plethora of rabbits.
A bunch.
That's right. And none of them have this deformity.
Rook, help me out. Years ago, I believe there was an animal, was it a jackalope that was featured prominently on television?
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? The jackalope?
That
Yeah, the
was
big, is it?
America's Funniest Videos.
Thank you. That's
Yes.
what I thought so.
Yeah.
Maybe this is
They
a
would have jackalope sightings.
subdivision of that type of an animal.
This is a virus.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Humor was a little more genteel back there in the jackalope days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It really was.
That is something we thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
God, what
What's
a bunch of rubes.
What about chupacabra?
This is Art Bell, west of the Rockies. I'm
That's just like a pig that's been hit by a car and still living.
You know what? Only because they come to us
Yep.
all the way
You got it.
from South Africa. Marloth Park, home of the traveling Lymans. It was on this day.
Joe, today is August 13th.
Does that bother you, the 13th? Never done a thing for me. I don't care if it's Friday the 13th or Monday the 13th. I just don't care.
I haven't put any thought into it.
On this day,
Aug 13.
in 1849, Minnesota Territory's first court session was held in Stillwater. Reportedly, only one man on the jury wore boots. All the rest wore moccasins.
What an observation.
That's one hell of a note for this day in history, isn't it?
It's really peculiar.
On this day,
August 13th.
in 1893, the biggest fire, that's 7 years before the 7 or 8 automobiles total in Minneapolis went from downtown out to Minnetonka. Yeah. On this day in 1893, the biggest fire in Minneapolis history burned 23 square blocks of the city and more than 150 buildings, leaving 1,500 people without shelter.
Wow. What was it cause? Do we know?
It's this day in history is pretty weak on those kinds of facts.
Gotcha.
I would prefer to have those kinds of facts. You know what happened there? I wonder if it was a milling started fire. Sometimes those mills, a spark would light them on fire.
Well, you would not chafing, but you would get some rubbing. So if that wood starts to rub together on the mill, you'd get burning wood, and the mill would start on fire, especially a flour mill if it's not close to the river.
Do you know anything about milling flour? Anything at all? Tell me one fact about milling flour.
There was an episode of Little House on the Prairie where Mr. Olson he was low on flour, and he told Harriet he got to run to the mill to get some flour.
Would you take a run at Harriet?
Oh, for sure. Yes. Especially during
during a blizzard,
and it doesn't matter any season, 12 months out of the year. She lets that hair down only a couple times during that television show.
This was a fire in Minneapolis.
She's a changed woman.
You know she's got leather on underneath that costume she's wearing, right?
And you know what? You know about Nels, don't you?
You know, Kenny. Kenny, I
ball gag Nels.
Yikes!
Behind the curtain.
Kenny, I find it interesting and somewhat saddened to realize that when you were a little kid watching something like Little House on the Prairie, your mind was always elsewhere.
He was mature.
Did you ever appreciate look how far they went on the horse or anything like that?
Yeah, there were those play rocking horses. They had dual purposes.
I'm going to steer back to the fire for just a minute.
Could we go to the fire?
Yeah, I went to my newspapers.com
thing.
The day after, it said the fire originated in the Lenhart carriage shop and was driven with wonderful rapidity by the wind, shortly enveloping the factory and adjoining structures. So somehow it started in a carriage shop.
Does it give us the blocks, the perimeter? Where was it? Do we know?
There's actually a map picture, a map of the burned district. Do
you think anything that was standing that day in that district still exists? I wonder.
Probably not.
A fountain or a
mill.
A mill.
On this day,
on August 13th,
in Minnesota sports disappointment. On this day in 1954, the Sports Commission was formed.
Oh, boy. It goes back that far?
Why was that a disappointment?
I don't know. I didn't realize it went back that far because we didn't even have professional sports until 1961.
But here's a disappointing notice on this day.
Wait, that's not true. We had the Lakers before that. My apologies if you're offended. August 13th.
1986. The Twins traded Ron Boom Boom Davis.
Ooh.
Time to throw in the Davis.
I don't know who they traded him to or for whom.
Was it the Yankees?
I don't know. Don't ask a question with a question.
Wasn't that a Smalley deal? One of the Smalley deals?
Maybe it was. Maybe. I thought he came here from the Yankees.
Well, you know what?
Smalley did, didn't he?
No, Boom Boom Davis was a Yankee, wasn't he?
He was at one time.
Or maybe he was a Yankee when the Twins traded him to the Yankees. Then he became a Yankee. Maybe he was not previously a Yankee.
He went to the Cubs.
He did, huh?
The Yankees traded Davis to the Minnesota Twins along with minor leaguers Greg Gagne and Paul Boris in exchange for Roy Smalley. So the Yankees got Smalley. No.
Twins got Smalley. The Yankees got Gagne and Davis.
Yeah.
And they traded him with Dwayne Coleman to the Chicago Cubs for Julius McDougall, Ray Fontenot, and George Frazier. On this day.
Oh, no. The Yankees traded Davis to Minnesota.
Right, and now Chris is giving you what
And
I
then the
should
Twins traded Davis to the Cubs.
have. The Cubs, yes.
All right.
And then
Anyway, back to Nels Olson.
And Somali was a Yankee after he was a Twin, and then came back to Minnesota.
What about Nels? I don't know Nels.
You ever go in the back room of that store they had, that dry goods store? Those goods weren't dry in the back room.
I have just gotten wind that a certain Trey Alexander is now under the knife. That will cost me.
Wait a minute.
$100 plus tips.
They're
Yes, he will be accepted.
He's having it done, huh?
Yes, I'm glad I'm not in presence.
Are they doing that at home?
No, there's a place in an
Out in
alley
the shed.
downtown St. Paul. It's good for
They're
St.
going to the
Paul.
mill.
It's
They're
good
going
for
to the
St.
mill,
Paul.
Yes.
Yeah, hi.
Okay.
Find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Good luck,
Sign up.
Trey.
I don't know.
Sorry, bud.
Good luck, Trey.
I don't remember mine.
It'll get better sometime soon.
I don't remember mine.
Oh, it'll heal right up.
Yeah, you're gonna be
Everything will be
okay.
fine.
Time once again to check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic, and now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh, and he is there for you for that free, yes, I use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation, and he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice, and he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, Josh, how high is too high?
I don't believe that stock prices, Chris, are going to go to the moon. And of course, when I think of stock prices going to the moon, I think of people going to the moon, which was kind of exciting back when I was much younger, watching rockets take off to the moon. And then I think of Ralph Cramden with his classic line, "To the moon, Alice, to the moon." But the stock market has been hitting new highs, both on the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. The S&P and the NASDAQ have been led by NVIDIA, the chip manufacturer, which is now the largest company by market capitalization, in excess of $4 trillion. That's right, $4 trillion of market cap, followed by Microsoft, which has also been moving up on the backs of artificial intelligence. Between the two stocks, NVIDIA and Microsoft, they represent just under 15% of the market capitalization of the S&P 500. Now, many people would say, well, that is absurd with that kind of concentration. If I go further down, the top 10 stocks, 9 of which are also on the NASDAQ, and one is Berkshire Hathaway, those top 10 make up about 40% of the weighting of the S&P 500. So that does give a lot of credence, we'll say, to those people that just say, put your money in an S&P index fund. You will own most of the top companies, and you will in all likelihood outperform many mutual fund active managers, because the active managers, while trying to beat the index, one have a little bit of a handicap, and they do charge a fee. And the other handicap is they do not necessarily match the index's weighting. Hence, you will see even some of the leading stocks being either overweighted by or underweighted in many mutual funds. So as an example, if NVIDIA represents a 7.5% weighting in the S&P, unless the mutual fund focuses primarily on technology companies, most mutual funds are going to be underweight NVIDIA in their fund. So they might have maybe a 3 or 4% weighting in NVIDIA at best. And the same would be true of Microsoft, or as I go, the next stock down would be Apple. Now, Apple has been a stock that most mutual funds and other professionals have been underweighting relative to the index for a very long time. And that could be seen as either they don't like Apple's prospects, at least on the short term, or say they don't like Apple's growth rate and they don't believe that Apple's valuation is currently set sustainable. And until recently, well, they could have been right. It also says that if you're underweight, you're almost the equivalent. Somebody said, well, they're not short the stock, betting that the stock is going to fall, but they're not overly long the name either. And that would go true not just of Apple, but NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Google, Netflix. Definitely would apply to Palantir, which is one of the few companies that is seen as a pure artificial intelligence play, and that has zoomed up and is a very expensive stock on both a price-to-earnings and price-to-sales basis. Stock that NVIDIA could also fit that characteristics as well as being expensive on a PE and price-to-sales basis relative to other semiconductor stocks. But these stocks do get a premium valuation because of the potential seen in artificial intelligence. With that said, as the markets move up, now it becomes a situation where, again, how high is up? Sometime there could be some profit taking, and of course it is always good not to be a pig. If you own some of these stocks and they have reached excessive highs, it might make some sense, as they say, trim your position just a little bit and build up some cash for the inevitable market pullback, and then you can, we'll say, add back to some of those positions at lower prices. This is not a market timing call, because I've never considered myself a market timer. Just, you've made a lot of money, put some of that money in your pocket, pay the capital gains taxes, have some extra cash as a cushion, and you will thank me, maybe not today, but sometime very soon.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. Well, you heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.